Just thank you for your attention and your respect. First off, my name is Brandon Ward. I run my own marketing company. It's called Marketing Undivided. I also manage public safety for the College of Southern Nevada. So I have 6 different locations. I have 65 employees that I'm responsible for with my job. I've been there now for 8 years. That's not my dream, that's not my passion, okay? I've been there for 8 years. I'm 34 years old. I'm not living my dream and my passion. I want to keep that. I want you guys to understand, every time I say something, I don't mind talking down on myself about the mistakes that I've made, that have put me in the situations that I've been in, because I've had my success and I've had my failures. And a lot of my successes came from hard work, determination, and just finding something that I loved and wanted to apply myself to and being successful at it. But see, I get big-headed, undisciplined, anger problems, attitude, things like that have ruined me. But also tragedies as well. I've had some things happen in my life that have really knocked me off of my path. I'm gonna go over some of that things with you guys as well, because I want you to know that you can persevere to get through whatever you've been through, right? So my passion. A man asked me, he said, a wise man asked me, he said, what do you want to be when you get older? And I didn't know, I just didn't know, right? And as I was growing up and I was going through what I was going through within my family, my mother, she was a drug dealer when I was younger. My father, he was a felon as well. So when I was younger, we had a lot of money, but then when my mother went to jail, we lost all our money. You know what I mean? Like, completely change of lifestyles. Big house, small house. A lot of food, little food. You know, nice clothes. So now I'm wearing clothes that was 2 years ago clothes. You know what I'm saying? So I've been through all of that. I got cousins that gang bang. I got some cousins that have been prostitutes. I got people in my family who've been addicted to drugs. I have people in my family who have did some pretty bad things. And the thing is as a young child, you have to be careful how you identify yourself, because you start identifying yourself around with your surroundings. So you see all these people in your family who pretty much remind you of who you are, and they do these things, and when they do these things, they make it seem as if it's okay. So there was a lot of things that I was doing when I was younger I thought was okay, and I had to pay for them immediately. Well, growing up, my mother and my father, they had a rough relationship. My dad used to beat up my mom every week. I mean, the worst it was is like my dad held my mom hostage. She beat her eyes to where she couldn't see. She had to throw a chair out of the front window so the police could come and save us. My dad never harmed us, me and my sisters, but my dad used to beat my mom. And one of the hardest things it was for me when I was in middle school was masking that pain. Coming to school as if nothing was wrong at home, and then coming to school and you know, trying to really give my best, but I couldn't give my best because my mind was so focused on the pain and if my mom was safe at home. I don't know if anybody can relate to that story, even if your story isn't as bad as mine. I know that each and every one of you have your own problems that you deal with at home, and you have to learn how to mask that pain. You have to learn to come to school and be strong, be happy, bring good energy with you, be motivated, and always remember that your determination and your success in your life, it's all based off of what you want it to be. How you look at yourself, how you believe in yourself, how you see yourself, and how you want the rest of the world to see you. I had a dad who told me that racism was the way to go, never to trust anybody. My dad talked about the Caucasian race horribly, and then I had to grow up and I had to be right next to the same people my dad was talking about. And then I had to learn that these people aren't as bad as you say they are. Then I had my best friend is white. Everybody that I was communicating with back where I was going to school, they all coming in?
They just come down here.
Yeah, we pause it. Anyway, getting back into it, I had to realize who I was, right? So as I got older and I had to identify myself, I looked in the mirror and I didn't like who I saw. And when I did see myself, I referred to myself as who my family was. So as I got older, I wanted to be a police officer. I'm gonna be a police officer. I wanted to do something that was something so different than what my family had done, you know, full of felons and drug dealers. I wanted to be different. Not just that, I didn't want to have to be around my family. So if I became a police officer, all those people would stay away from me. Well, I became a police officer at the age of 21, but before I became a police officer, that was a blessing that came from a mistake. See, before I became a cop, I was in college. I was playing college baseball. I was motivated. I was inspired. I was going to San Bernardino Valley College at the time. Loving life. Baseball has always been my passion, and I played baseball all years when I was growing up. I played football as well, but I used to play baseball all year round, from middle school through high school. And when I went to college, my wife now of 12 years, she got pregnant, and when the baby came, I had to get a job. I went and got a regular job. I dropped out of college, and then the regular job wasn't enough for me. I had to get a career. So I was like, what can I do? What was the career that I can do without having a degree? I had 2 years of college in. I didn't have my degree yet. The police was hiring everywhere at this time. So I put my name in, I put the application in. The first time I took a test out in Newport Beach, California, I completely failed the test. The questions on the test, I couldn't comprehend them. I couldn't, it was something about, I don't know if I was going through something at the time and my mind couldn't focus, but I completely failed the test. You had to score 70, I think I scored like a 56. And I remember comprehension was something I used to struggle with when I was in school. That reading comprehension, you gotta read that long paragraph and then you gotta go back and answer the questions later on. Well, that's gonna stick with you through whatever you're trying to do in your life. From middle school through high school, to trying to get a career, whatever it may be. You might be trying to take the bar and become a lawyer. You might be trying to test for the police and become a police officer. You might want to become a judge. Whatever it may be, you're gonna have to perfect that reading comprehension. So what I did was I wasn't a reader growing up. I never read a book. I never read a book until I was like 34 years old, but I can study. I knew where to go and get a book and go get the answers. So if it was a question, I knew where to go get the answers, and that's how I've applied those lessons to my life. But reading was my weakness, and what I did was I started practicing reading. I started working on the comprehension, and it was crazy. I came out here in Las Vegas and I tested out here, and I scored like an 87 on the test. And that was just off of 3 months of just applying myself to focusing on comprehension and testing. And it taught me, man, if I really work on myself, if I really work on my weaknesses, all of these weaknesses can become strengths. So not just that, now I think I'm smart. So now I'm like, okay, well, man, I can get back into college, get my mind right, I can get focused. All I gotta do is practice at something. With the academy, when I went to the police academy, I was weighing about 250 pounds. I had to lose 40 pounds in order to get down in shape, just enough to pass the academy. And I was able to do so. 3 months of just hard work, my mind was just focused. My determination was on becoming a cop. And everything that I wanted to do, I was.
Thank you.